Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Red Devils TV, the realest channel on YouTube. I've got a Blue next to me in Andy. He's been on the channel before throughout the season, and obviously it's the biggest game of United's season, you could say. City, probably not so much as they've already won the Premier League. So, Andy, congratulations to you doing the four-peat. You definitely cemented yourselves in Premier League history as probably one of the best teams around, you could say. And
one of the best.
One of the best. Still not as good as United, let's say that. But, you know, we always be Little City. But anyway, but obviously it is the FA Cup final and there is some massive controversial points coming into this game. Obviously, we've had breaking news that apparently it's Erik Ten Hag's last game, which for me is a massive disgrace. I mean, Andy, we've just been talking off camera, but as a Blue, what is your reaction to this? Because you know, Ten Hag, you know, he did so well last season, got us back into the Champions League, won us the Carabao Cup, got us into the FA Cup final as well, but we lost 2-1 to you guys. So this time, I think it's redemption time. Hopefully Ten Hag can go out of a win if it is his last game. But again, like you say, it's a derby and anything can happen and it's hard to predict. But go on, as a Blue, I want to know your thoughts on
this. You're gonna have me City head on what finds it hilarious. Because of the rivalry, obviously. You know, I find it funny as. But when I take my City hat off, I find it a disgrace. And I said to you, it's shades of when it was known when we was in the FA Cup final against Wigan that it was going to be Mancini, regardless of the result, it was going to be Mancini's last game, and Pellegrini was coming in. It's United are not doing themselves any favour here. You know, they're trying to build relationships up. They're trying to stabilize the club. And listen, you threw out some stats about Ten Hag before. And is he sort of like this Ten Hag's a clown kind of thing because of what's going on at Old Trafford? Or is that overshadowing Ten Hag, do you think? And it's not helping his case?
I don't think it's helping his case at all because like our club is very, very toxic from the inside and the fans don't help it. The fans love to have a moan about the Glazers and the way we're run as a football club and stuff, but the fans don't help. Like the fans are equally as guilty as the owners who do sack the managers because the fans' voice do have an opinion, you could say, and we probably do have an impact when, like, because we're like the clubs that manage us aren't stupid. They will be monitoring the social media and they will be seeing like what the fans do think of the results and the manager. And majority of the fan base are Erik Ten Hag out. Now, obviously, I can't speak for every single Man United fan because there's so many split opinions. The fan base has been I'm not saying this fan base this divided in years, more than Ole, more than Mourinho, and because you've got a lot of fans like me who are either tired of constantly sacking managers or we know how good Erik Ten Hag is from when he's been at Ajax or his first season at United, and it's just been an off season. But then you've got a lot of them where they're like, it's the Ronaldo fallout, it's the Sancho fallout, it's the 7-0 to Liverpool, it's the bottling it against City in the FA Cup final, which let them win a treble. Like, there's so many lists, and you could say they cancel each other out, and that's why it's so divided. But I've said it. I really hope, if Erik Ten Hag does get sacked, I really hope that the next team that he manages, we play them and he absolutely arse rapes us because I just want us to be proven wrong because the front line, according to reports, the front line is Kieran McKenna, who's done amazing at Ipswich. You know, he's gotten promoted in 2 consecutive seasons. But Andy, let me just ask you something. Ipswich are a very decent team. They've not been in the Premier League for, what is it, about 25 years, however long it is. But Kieran McKenna's like, I've got this team promoted.
Listen, with the greatest respect to him, they're not Man United, are they?
No, exactly. Like, and Kieran McKenna literally got sacked being part of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's backup team. Like, I know he didn't really get a say in the footballing decisions, but he was already been sacked from the club. Like, and it's just like, oh, I got promoted in 2 consecutive seasons. Let's be funny, he didn't even win the fucking championship that he just got promoted to. He came second. So
let me ask you a question then. Do you think it'd be different surrounding, say, Ten Hag and stuff like that if City wasn't so successful at the minute? If we was a normal average Premier League team, you know, not winning anything, and United and Ten Hag, they'd be more. I think they'd be more inclined to stick with him. But I think the fan power, like you said, some of them are divided or not. But I think some of the fan power they're going to dictate whether he stays or not. But I know, speaking to some of my mates, that it's really, really pissing them off with how successful City are. And then when you see a result like a 4-0 hammering away to Palace, it just infuriates you even more because you can see City going on to win, the 4-peat, while you're on a 4-peat on the other end of the Palace game.
The thing is, though, I like the way that you've asked about if it was down to City or not. But even if City were a mid-table and an average team, like, we'd still be missing out on Arsenal and Liverpool's winning the titles and stuff. So you could say that if City...
The focus is different, though, Dan. The focus... Because what I always try to do, I always try to not only do devil's advocate, but I always try to put myself in other people's shoes. Now, if I was a United fan... A, I'd have a different accent than a Mancunian one, and B, I would be really annoyed that noisy neighbours are clean sweeping everything, considering the success we'd have had as United fans, and we're just seeing the dominance change. You've like we're seeing all this Farmers League rubbish and stuff like that now. It's only a Farmers League because we're pretty much winning trophies at every season. Yeah. Now, before all that, how many times have United won it 3 on the trot and stuff like that, and then not won it the 4th season, and then they've gone on to win it 2 and 3 times on the trot? United have had the dominance. United have had that football cycle. That football cycle's not always going to be with City. When Pep goes, we'll have to start facing being not average, because we've moved on from being average, but we won't have as much. We won't be winning Premier League season after season. So I can understand the frustration of United fans. However, what they're doing with Ten Hag, saying it's supposedly his last game. Listen, that's a disgrace on every level, mate. And that's not just a football thing. It's like me knowing that I'm getting sacked on me before I go getting work in the morning. I've heard a rumor I'm getting sacked. But my boss has not given me the heads up or anything. I'm getting work, and I'm getting sacked. Even I heard the rumor. It shouldn't get out like that, because it could derail some. It could derail it. Now, if they're doing it to try and gee everybody up to get a win tomorrow, in my opinion, they're doing it wrong, because on the back of that, news this afternoon has come out that Pep is in talks to extend his long-term future. So on the back of someone going out, Pep looks like it's going to stay long-term. So years ago, Dan, that used to be the other way around. City was the laughing stock, and United was always smashing us with everything.
Yeah, mate, I completely understand where you're coming from, and obviously, I think this is why I like talking to you, because you're an old blue, as I say, not to say that you're old or anything, but I mean, like, there's a lot.
I'm 27, mate. I've supported them that long. I'm 27.
But the thing is that by a lot of more modern and younger City fans, they're the ones that are, you could say, the big mouths and the loud mouths and stuff like that. Where you, yeah, I can imagine. But you've got a lot of City fans out there that do like to cause havoc all over social media and stuff. And obviously, talking to real blues like yourself, obviously, this is where we can have a normal conversation without saying, like, just getting like overspoken about and all the abuse you get on Twitter and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like,
I get more abuse on TikTok, mate.
Okay, well, there you go then. But that's because you get banned every single day. But at the same time, like, City are an incredible team. I'll say it. There's at some point you've got to realise that this isn't just due to the financial side of everything. Pep Guardiola has built an amazing team. Like it's not just millions and billions you've spent on the team. You've literally got gems in your team like Rico Lewis from the academy, Phil Foden this season being your player of the season, Julian Alvarez costing 20 million euros, whatever it is.
Oscar Bob, Manuel Akanji, 14 million.
Exactly. So the thing is that so many fans will focus on the the Doku signings, the Grealish signings, the Erling Haaland signings, the Rodri signings, who have cost like 60 million plus or however much they've certain cost, but by the high valued ones. But the thing is, United, we've tried them signings and they've not worked out. So City are the team that everyone wants to be now. They're dying for it. And as
you only have to look at that because before Pep came in, mate, everybody, when the ball got passed back off a defender to the keeper, oof. Yeah. Now, whether it's Sunday League or not, people try to play out the back. So that philosophy has gone from Pep Guardiola all the way down to grassroots. Now, that's only good if you've got the players to do it. And you're absolutely bang on. It's Pep who's... Listen, I always refer back to it years and years ago where Real Madrid had the Galacticos. They had the best players on the planet. They won nothing, mate. And that's because it wasn't the right manager managing these players. These superstars, these egos. Apparently, there's no egos in our team. And I honestly believe that from everything what I see with the interviews of the players. It's like a family.
Pep Guardiola is the ego. There's no one that's above Pep Guardiola in that club. And that's why I really respect when João Cancelo had a fallout with Pep Guardiola. He was like, all right, there's the door. See you later. Like,
what's happened there? He can't get it. Bayern Munich bombed him out, didn't want him. So he went to Barcelona. He's not really in the Barcelona team because he's had more clubs than a deck of cards, mate. He really has. He's only young, so there's a problem there. So Pep has had a go at him as if to try and get him because he's got great talent. But if you don't fit in the mindset of Pep Guardiola, you're gone regardless. Because at that time we didn't have a decent fullback on the left, so he was like, oh, he must be bringing someone in, and he didn't bring anyone in because it was just like, don't need to. We've got rid of an ego, and we just absolutely kicked on them because we had Nathan Ake on the left. He was linking up brilliantly with Grealish. When Cancelo was there, it wasn't working with Grealish because Cancelo wanted to be me, whereas Pep, it's all about the team ethos, mate, and not individuals. And with United, I can see so many individuals. Should Ten Hag have got rid of Sancho? In my opinion, no. I understand what Ten Hag did, but if somebody has genuinely got mental health issues, don't throw him under a bus in your post matches and stuff like that.
I get what you mean, but obviously going back to that, so last season when Sancho had them about 2 or 3 months off due to mental health issues, Erik Ten Hag was the one who personally set up them camps and stuff in the Eredivisie for him because obviously Erik Ten Hag had the connections for being a manager in Netherlands, so he sent Sancho to them training programs and stuff, and he personally sorted all that out. It was only a question that a journalist asked that. Why was Sancho not in the squad? And he turned around and said that Sancho wasn't training well enough in training, so he was dropped, which I think is a correct manner of going about it. If you're not training hard enough, then you shouldn't be in the team. But this is where I don't agree with Erik Ten Hag because it reminds me so much of Gareth Southgate.
Spin it round to Sunday, just gone. Yeah. Wasn't about Pep Guardiola, mate. Jack Grealish got interviewed. And Jack Grealish came out in his interview. He was a little bit emotional, Jack Grealish, and he went, I've had some off-the-field issues this season, and Pep Guardiola has really, he's been the one, Pep Guardiola, who's gone to his house and stuff like that, spent time with him, pulled him through. That is a difference. At no point when Jack Grealish was out of form or anything like that, has Pep Guardiola come out, even when he's been asked in press conferences, why is Jack Grealish not starting? He just says, squad rotation. Whereas he didn't throw Jack under a bus. That's the difference between the elite and the also runs, mate. It's you will not get respect. As a manager, you won't get respect if you're throwing people under a bus in public because all the other players will think that could happen to me.
Yeah.
I by the way, I get Sancho's tantrums and stuff like that because Pep also bombed him out of City as well.
Yeah.
For his attitude and stuff like that. But the reason why I I'd have kept. I don't know about you. I'd have kept Ronaldo as well because, it's all about Ronaldo, but Ronaldo was still banging in them goals, mate.
Yeah.
And that is the difference. It's sort of like bit his nose off to spite his face, Ten Hag, with that, because Jadon Sancho would have done a better job, in my opinion, than Anthony.
Absolutely.
So, and to say, if I was saving my own ass in work,
yeah,
regardless whether I got on with somebody or not, there's a difference between somebody really, really good at the job and somebody who's an absolute knobhead. Now, if you've got a knobhead who's really, really good at the job and you don't get on with them, separate the two, because you know they're going to save your job by playing them. Forget the personal stuff. Just, you can save my job, because even though you're a knobhead, you can still save my job because you've got talent. I believe little things like that, because he's had a pop at Rashford and stuff like that. Don't bite the hands what feed you, because when have you ever seen a club back a manager and sell players?
You don't see it anymore.
You won't see it, mate, because it's easier to pay one manager off than a bunch of players, regardless who the manager is. You saw it with Mourinho, mate.
Yeah, because the thing is, this is why we obviously said before off camera about would I take Tuchel, and obviously Tuchel's well known for falling out with players, falling out of the club and stuff. That's why I wouldn't take him. Like, I do agree, Ten Hag could have definitely approached like certain situations a lot better. Like I said, with the Sancho and Ronaldo situation, especially. But it's not even just the man management side of things where he's getting criticised. It's also his tactics. It's also the blaming other players for not performing well and stuff. And I feel like that the damage is already done now. So if Ten Hag is to get sacked, you also can't say it's a disgrace because he doesn't deserve it. It's because you could say that you could argue in any case that he does deserve it in a way. But again, like you've said before, doing it the day before a cup final is an absolute disgrace. Now, believe it or not, I don't think it's officially done yet, because this guy who's actually leaked it, I don't even know what his name is. I know he's Jacob something, but he's a journalist for The Guardian, and he's turned around and said that major breaking news: Erik Ten Hag is set to be sacked after the FA Cup final. It doesn't matter what the result is of the FA Cup final. So even if we win or not, he's gone apparently. So this is a journalist who is known for reporting a lot about West Ham. He's reported in the last year, let me get the stat up, 6 articles on Manchester United. And
don't bet about United leaking that to a journalist as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I would not be surprised by it at all. But does that not speak volumes about my club? Or like the United fan club, about they're literally leaking it? Like, there's more leaks in our fucking club than there is on the Titanic. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
There's more leaks in your club than there is in Wales, mate.
Well, there you go then. But the thing is as well is that
what you are, you how City used to be.
I don't know how City used to be. All I know is dominance, because you ruined my fucking childhood.
yeah, and you fucking ruined mine, mate.
But you're only 27, so
that's stone, that age. But seriously, it's the next appointment for United, assuming that the rumours are true, which I believe they are, because there's no smoke without fire, then United, it's Jim Radcliffe's man then.
Yeah.
There's no hiding place for Jim Radcliffe then.
Exactly. So, cause that was always my worry when Ratcliffe was appointed and became co-owner, is that will he want his own man? Because as soon as it was announced that Ratcliffe was going to be taking side of footballing decisions, then that's when I was like, right, this is where Ten Hag could be in a bit of trouble, despite if he's a good manager or not. Because you saw it with Bowley at Chelsea. You know, he got rid of Tuchel like that with a click of his fingers, because Tuchel didn't want to manage the way that they did.
Let me mugs as well, mate.
Yeah, spot on. I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely.
Hey, big seller now. Oh, City fans, all big sellers there, mate.
I can imagine, mate.
But, if you want to run a competition, mate, for your viewers and subscribers and stuff like that, I will give you a mug and a coaster for the winner of their choice from our website.
Oh, that's amazing. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, yeah, I'll put your link in the description. I'll get your link off in a bit after the stream.
I'm not fussed about the links or anything like that. I'm just saying, if you want to run a competition for whatever you want, and with your subscribers, just let me know what they want and the address, and I'll get it sent. In the UK though.
Yeah, UK only. No, I appreciate that. So anyone who is actually interested in getting a mug off Andy, we'll start a competition soon. So it'll probably be either in the Euros or the start of next season, but we'll sort something out really soon.
Whenever you want, mate. It'll be on.
But obviously, we have got to talk about the game for tomorrow. So it's Manchester United versus Manchester City, and it's a derby. You know, I've said multiple scorelines. I've said 4-0 to City. I've said 3-2 to Man United. But, you know, it's impossible to call because for the first time in exactly, where's this stat now? In 4 months, 1 week and 6 days, says that United have a fully strength squad. Now, that's been a while since we've had an actual full squad available. Obviously, Varane's back, Martinez is back, Mount's back, Rashford. But even though that all these players are back and it's a great booster to going into this game, they've hardly played all season. There's been no consistency. They've not had the amount of games. And City have been a solid unit all season long. Yes, you've had your injuries as well, but that's not even counted you guys out half the time. So,
do you find that's bizarre, though, that they couldn't play in the last few games of the Premier League season where they could have got you up that table? And
absolutely, yeah.
I think the players down tools, mate.
100%, mate. I would not be surprised.
I think Wayne Rooney said that as well on something. Yes. Wayne Rooney was on.
And to be fair, Wayne Rooney got a lot of hate for that, saying that who does he think he is, talking about that players are injured and stuff. And I turned around and said to my granddad who was watching the game, where I was watching that interview, and he turned around and said to me that I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, Dan. And I was just there, like at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I feel like that majority of the players now have already down tools, and hopefully they go out and give everything for the shirt tomorrow. And hopefully we do get the win. Obviously, I know you're going to think differently. But obviously, even if we lose, I just want to see a team that fights. I don't want us to get turned over like we have done. Because you've beaten us every given opportunity this season. Erik Ten Hag has only won once in the 5 occurrences with Man City. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we beat you at Old Trafford 2-1. But then since then, before then,
that shouldn't have happened.
Exactly. But that was 6-3 at the Etihad. It was 3-0 at Old Trafford this season. It was 3-1 at the Etihad this season. You know, but City are an absolute menace. And we've just got to settle for the counter-attack, I think. There's no point trying to outpass City, outstrength City, because it's not going to happen, I don't think.
How do you think Ten Hag will approach it? Not how you want.
No. I was about to say, because there's a different way where I would do it and how I think Ten Hag's going to do it. I think he's going to keep the back line the same with Casemiro at centre-back. I generally think that which I think is massively risky, but yeah, you're rubbing your hands there. But I feel like he'll go with the most recent back line of Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Martinez and Casemiro. And then what we'll see is Amrabat, Mainu and Fernandes in midfield. And then Amad Diallo, Hojlund and Garnacho. But I still won't even be surprised if he starts McTominay at striker and benches Hojlund and goes compact in the midfield. I would not be surprised.
He won't start Hojlund, mate. He'll do exactly what you just said. He'll put McTominay there.
Well, we're fucked then.
He'll want McTominay. I found a new word I can't say. I say that. I won't be really saying that a lot anyway. He'll put McTominay there.
Yeah. As on the white Yaya Toure.
It's more like Jamie Pollock, mate, for us older ones.
I don't even know who that is, but yeah.
Just Google later on Jamie Pollock own goal. YouTube
God.
it. Right. I think he will put him in there because I think he will drop Doku tomorrow to the bench. and he'll put Kovacic in there to sort of like boost the midfield up. So I can see Ten Hag going more or less like for like in midfield.
Yeah. So do you think it's going to be a situation where Ten Hag's going to try and hold on to the 0-0 as much as possible and then try and get it in extra time, or later on in the game when he brings on the likes of Rashford and Hojlund?
If I was Ten Hag, I know I look a bit like him, but I'm much more talented manager. I would go for City from the word go. It's a one-off game because we have been susceptible a little bit at the back this season. So
Yeah.
I'd be getting Garnacho straight at us. I'd be pushing Mainu as much as I could against our back line, hoping to get behind them.
Yeah.
But will Ten Hag do that? I honestly don't know. I've give up trying to work him out, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Because that's what I say. Because I say how I would set up, I'd set up completely different. I wouldn't have Casemiro in the team at all. I'd have Varane in the back line with Martinez. I'd have Amrabat staying in the midfield. But I want Casemiro to play, but he just looks absolutely gone. So maybe he could make an impact coming off the bench or something. But Amrabat's been playing better than Casemiro recently. So based on form, I'd keep the midfield the same of Amrabat, Mainu, and Fernandes. But then I'd have the likes of Garnacho on the right, Rashford off the left, and Hojlund through the middle. But Amad Diallo has been our most technical forward in the last few games. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's brought something in the side that we've not seen in ages. Amad at the moment is what we wanted Anthony to be. Someone who drives at defenders, who can dribble past them, but isn't afraid to get stuck in and actually wins challenges. Like the amount of fouls, he's been fouled 4 times in his last 3 games, and we've all won free kicks in dangerous positions. Now, for me, if I was to ask you that, what would you say is the best area to win a free kick? Would you say the left, right, or centre?
Depends what for yous.
No, just in general. Would you like?
Well, at the minute, our most productive, I'd say, for us, I'd say the 18-yard box to our right, because the way Phil Foden's smashing the ball in at the minute,
yeah,
you saw his first goal against West Ham. It wasn't a free kick, but it was in a free kick type of area.
It was very similar to when he scored us at the Etihad, wasn't it, where he just rocketed it in. So
yeah. So listen, any area there, it depends who you've got, because what we've seen now, we've almost seen the old guard, Kevin De Bruyne, passing free kicks to Phil Foden now. So that's sort of like the handing over the crown, if you like, because of the way Phil Foden's developed. But anywhere over the any in and around the 18-yard box, it's, if it's against us, you've got to take your chances when you get them. And I think I think you will do a counter attack game, because that'll try and frustrate us a little bit. But it depends on your lineup, because even though you've got a fully fit squad, how fit are they? They've missed a lot of the season. If Rashford plays, he's been renowned after he's had a bit spat his dummy out when he's getting criticism off the fans to try and prove a point with all his all that kind of stuff. So it depends. Listen, if it was me, I'd go out for City, but I think Ten Hag will sit back.
See, because that's the thing. This is because I'm looking at our most recent game, which was at the Etihad, and that first goal that we scored, it was a wonder goal. It was a brilliant strike by Rashford, and no keeper in the world is going to save that if it's on target.
He shinned it like Rooney did.
Well, but it still went in, didn't it? So, But no, United's issue in that game was that we went 1-0 up, and then we did fuck all again. We didn't create anything else. We had that one chance where Rashford tried to head it down and then completely messed it up. But then apart from that, we had no other chances in that first half, which allowed City to press us back, force us to drop deep, and you just took the game from there. Now, I remember speaking to you after that game, and you said, was it a foul when Walker pulled Rashford down? And I was like, no, Like it was a normal challenge. Like I don't know why a lot of fans were saying it was a red card when it wasn't. So at the end of the day, I feel like that we know how to beat City. It's been proven, try and just cause them havoc. It's not stopping Erling Haaland anymore because even though Erling Haaland's finished top goal scorer, he doesn't really create anything by himself. It's stopping the creative players, the Bernardo Silvas, the De Bruynes, the Fodens, because yes, they're equally as dangerous when it comes to that poacher's instinct because they can score a goal as good as Erling Haaland. But Erling Haaland is what so many teams get distracted over. They're like, if we give Erling Haaland that space, he's going to score. But how does Erling Haaland receive the ball? It's from the likes of Foden, De Bruyne, and everyone.
The thing is, where we've played blinders this season, mate, and let's not forget, De Bruyne missed nearly 6 months of the season. Haaland missed 2 months of the season. But what we've started seeing now with Haaland is very clever. He's developing better into a footballer now. Yeah, he's not a menace in the box all the time. He'll come back now. His link-up play is a lot better. So when you're getting, if I'm telling you to man mark pretty much Erling Haaland, everywhere he goes, follow him. Yeah. If Haaland's dropping back and he wins the ball, he's firing it to a Doku or a Foden and stuff like that. So all of a sudden, we've got more space to run into. In many respects, Haaland has become a bit of a decoy for us as well.
Yeah. Is he become more of a target man than plays with his back to goal and helps set up other players, you could say? Or
he's become all round, mate. His game's changed a lot this season. Like we're getting people saying, "Oh, Haaland's not had a great season," la da da da. And for reasons like I just said, listen, if Haaland and De Bruyne had played a full season like they did last season, would have got the fruits of the goals what Haaland replicated what he did last season. He'd have replicated that this season. However, we've learned how to play without him as well because Alvarez is so underrated, mate. When De Bruyne was out and when Haaland was out, Alvarez was banging in the goals. He was banging in free kicks and stuff like that. We've got what we've got. If somebody's out, we've got Foden who can play left, right, centre, push up as a false nine. We've got the same with Bernardo Silva. Grealish can play in the middle as well as the left. We've got Doku who can play left or right. We've got Oscar Bob who can left, right. And that we've got players who can interchange. It doesn't affect our system much because we're lucky with that. People seem to think we've got a player for every position. We've not. We've got one of those
players that can play multiple positions.
Yeah, and that's it, mate, because I think we've got one of the smallest squads in the Premier League. Yeah, we've got a quality squad. However, it just shows the will to win what we've got because we've seen John Stones playing in midfield back end of last season. We've seen it with this season. Now we've got Gvardiol, bombing up the left and playing that inverted. We've seen a Kanji do it. We've seen, and if you're setting up against City, thinking, How are they going to set up today? And even when this kick off, and you can see how they set up, you think, right, we can match them now. All of a sudden, they'll change it in mid game. So it's very, very difficult. It's a derby tomorrow, mate. It's an FA Cup final. Anything can happen. Seriously, and I'm not sitting on the fence getting splinters in my ass there. Anything can happen. I will be totally nervous tomorrow come kickoff because on paper we should absolutely annihilate you. Unfortunately, it's not played on paper.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, mate. And are you going to Wembley or are you?
No, mate. A little story, like cut long story short. One of my dad's oldest mates, God rest his soul, Stan. I saw him on the semi final in the pub. What a drinking, and he's old and I mean old and frail. So I promised him. I said before the semi final, I went, if we get to the final, Stan, I'm not going. I'm going to come and watch it in here with you. So I've been keeping my promise with him because spending time and memories like that. Yeah, it's better than going to Wembley and stuff like. It's life's about memories, mate. It's not always about the football.
Yeah, that's beautiful, mate. Honestly, and obviously that's Stan. obviously, I hope you enjoy the game with him.
I think he's about in his 90s now.
Bloody hell! So I didn't know City have existed that long.
No, 2008. He used to support United before that.
All right. So it's just like you then, a bit of blue and just like.
No, I used to support Chelsea.
You support Chelsea?
I've been supporting City since 1982, mate.
Fair enough, mate.
My lad is 26. He's had a season ticket for 24 years.
Wow. Fair enough, mate. But obviously, like you said, it's a derby and it's impossible to predict what's going to happen. Like you said, on paper, you should absolutely be beating us. But again, it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. You were favourite going against Real Madrid, and look how that turned out for you. But that was a game you definitely should have won.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's but some and this is where some of the younger City fans need to take it. Be humble. Banter's brilliant, but be humble, because enjoy what we've got, because it's not going to last forever, trust me. So be humble and enjoy what you've got.
Because the thing is, this is what I like to say to a lot of United fans, because I've started to go into a lot more games now, especially this season. And I've been absolutely loving it. I've been loving meeting a lot of other United fans, other fans that do content and stuff as well. It's been great to meet so many people. But I say to them, because obviously these guys are in the mid-30s or, like you could say 40s and stuff. Like these guys, know what it means to be a United fan, you could say, because they've watched us in our prime glory. Where I'm here, listen, I was 10 years old when Sir Alex Ferguson retired. At the end of the day, my prime teenage years are through this decade of decay and pain and transition and rebuild that just hasn't happened yet. If you look at the streets of Manchester, obviously certain areas get built a lot quicker, but there's an area around my street, and there's an house that has been the same for the last 15 years. It's got a rusty old car outside it, and the tyres of that flat, they've actually sank into the ground. And
what's up with my car?
Didn't know we were neighbours, mate. But at the end of the day, I'm just there that. That's not been touched, and it's just been rotting. That's what I describe United as. And I'm just better just thankful you don't have to. All the players don't have to play at Old Trafford because of the leaking roof and stuff. Because
even that itself, as a City fan, it's so funny, mate. Because it's at the moment United, the gift what just keeps giving. Yeah. Not just. But I will say one thing. The hatred, not proper hatred, the hatred with City United fans, that's because of rivalry, because Liverpool fans, I can't stand in the main, but Arsenal fans, mate,
the worst. They are the worst.
They have gone to a level I've never felt hatred for, because United have won things. United and United fans, they've won things with over the years. Same with Liverpool. City fans are the same now. We know where, obviously, there's a certain section what pissed me off, but in the main, we can back it up with banter. Yeah. Arsenal have been jack shit, mate, and they're going on as if they're the best team that's ever played football.
Yeah,
they bottle jobs.
Absolutely, mate. Because the thing is, I went to United versus Arsenal, and they were there saying to me, "Oh, do you want us to win so City don't?" Because I was speaking to Arsenal fans on the way. We were crossing over the Lowry Bridge, right, just near the quays, and I was walking with an Arsenal fan, and he was there saying to me, "Oh, do you want Arsenal to win today so stop City?" I was like, "No." I'm saying that I honestly, no matter what it is, no matter what the outcome is for another team or something, I will always back my team to win, no matter what the outcome is. So City winning the title, it's already happened now anyway. Obviously, this was a few weeks ago, but what was it, 20 days ago, whatever it was. But at the end of the day, I'm there saying that to an Arsenal fan that I don't give a shit if you guys win today. I don't care. I want my team to win. Doesn't matter if City win. Because that's the thing, again, this is what really did my head in against Spurs, against when you guys, at the end of the day, I get it, Spurs fans hate Arsenal and they don't want them to win any glory and all that stuff. But this is what Postecoglou's issue was in the post-match, was that, why is our team...
And he was right, by the way, everything he said, big Angie, everything he said. So
you know what? That's a manager I would take at United. I would take Postecoglou. I do think that he is, because the thing is, he's a bloke. Like, he's not a manager. He's not like a media trained manager. He's a bloke. Like, you feel like you're talking to one of your mates at a pub, and like he's just so calm of it. He calls the journalists mates and stuff like that, and he's just like just chill.
and he started off at one of City's clubs in Melbourne, mate.
There you are then. Like, I hate him. I hate him.
Yeah, when he was at Melbourne before he went to Celtic.
Yeah. So yeah, that's right, and yeah, because you've gone by the City franchise, because you've got like Girona as well. You've done well. They've done well this season, haven't they? Like that Savio that's coming to you guys in the summer is a fucking mint. Like, honestly, I think he's absolutely mint. Honestly, mate, I don't know if you've actually watched him this season, but
he's mint in La Liga. Premier League is a different gravy, mate.
I understand that, mate. But
I think what he'll do, he'll go pre-season with us.
Yeah.
And I think Pep will make a decision on him like he did with McAtee, because McAtee, City fans rave on about McAtee. Oh, he should be getting his chance. That's all well and good. If you don't want us to be successful and you want us to just bring kids through, that's fine. We'll bring all the kids through. McAtee is not on the level what's needed to win stuff. For me, I'll be honest, I couldn't give a shiny shit if we win anything or not, because I've seen things that I never thought I'd ever see. I don't take it for granted in any way, shape, or form.
I can honestly bet that if City was to end tomorrow, let's say for example the FFP charging you get disbanded as a football club or something like that. If that was to end tomorrow, I can guarantee you would just have your head held high and know that you had one of the best moments as a football supporter.
Absolutely. But you know something? We're not going to be charged with anything. Nothing's going to. And that's not because of brown paper bags and stuff like that. Listen, the Premier League have messed up massively, mate, because they've basically got information off a criminal who's hacked stuff, but it's emerging now that not only did he hack stuff, he's also edited stuff. What's gone to be, and where is he now? He's in prison for it. He's in prison for it. So the Premier League have gone, look at all this without checking things factually. Checking if the grass length is listen, why would we have the grass length high when we're a football playing side? But they charge. So say for instance, one charge, for instance, it only amasses to 5 proper charges, by the way. There's all these little branches what go off these. And they charge us. So if something was applicable for, say, I'll just use a season, 2020-21, they've charged us for 2020-21 for something. It wasn't applicable in 2021. It was applicable in 2019-20. So they've got a lot of that messed up as well.
Yeah. Now, I think what the issue is as well is that you look at the way they've dealt with the likes of Everton and Forest as well. Like they've had such minor inconveniences when it comes to FFP and stuff, and they've been deducted 10 points and 6 points just for little inconveniences. So all the little fans that are so desperate to see City's downfall, they're all there like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen to City and stuff. But I generally think that, because people say, how did it go on for so long? Because apparently it was from 2008 to 2019, which was the alleged FFP financial break.
It didn't come until 2013 FFP, mate.
Oh, right. But where I read it was 2008 to it was like over 10 years or something. Well, this is what I mean. It's so no one knows what's going to happen with it. So I'm just accepted the fact that you're going to get away with it. You could say, you're saying that you're innocent completely all the way.
Not get away with it. You'll only get away with something if you've done something.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying in quotation marks, because
listen, no doubt about it. We've used loopholes, which Chelsea use loopholes by stockpiling players and stuff like that, putting them on a 7-year contract to get round. So, listen, that's just a loophole. United will use them. Liverpool will use them. Arsenal are too thick to use them. But everybody uses them. Now, the difference between us, Everton and Forest pleaded guilty.
Yeah.
Because we got the points deductions. With us, we're saying we're not guilty and we have got evidence. to prove we are not guilty. So that'll take its course. And I know from things what I've heard from people who know that these ongoing talks between the Premier League and City behind the scenes to come up with an outcome to make sure this not goes away, but I want City to go for these people. The people who are slandering our club, I want City to really, really go for him. Now, I'll never forget, because Khaldoon, when the charges were thrown against us on his end of this season before, he actually says he welcomes the investigation and the charges, because when we get our say, he's gonna basically rip the asses off everybody who slandered our club. And we're already seeing these now with these letters going round to even the likes of Goldbridge and stuff. You know, United's biggest fan, most celebrity fan, Mark Goldbridge.
Oh no, I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. Like, he's very controversial in the fan base, and
I know a lot. I know a lot of United fans don't like him, mate. I know that.
The thing is, for me, it's always been weird with Goldbridge, because I mean, it's not even his real name. But the thing is, like, when I was a young teenager, I loved watching the United stand. I thought it was the best thing to watch as a United supporter. But when I've met these other fans who have worked for the United stand and told me what Goldbridge is actually like, they're just there like he's not who he claims to be. And you know what?
He's not. I'll never forget. And I was outside the Etihad, and it was when Goldbridge was first. And you know something, if he's watching the show now, it'd be sliding. It'd be sliding under his desk. Well, he normally does now. Anyway, he wanted me on his show, so I went, yeah, I'll go on his show. And I was live outside the Etihad on his show, and he started trying to take the piss out of me and trying to take the piss out of City. And I ripped the ass off him. Next minute, off the show, and he blocked me off everything. And it's just like, listen, always, I'm the same on my channel, mate. Simon will tell you, because Simon comes on our show in the chat. Stay true to yourself on your channel, mate. It doesn't matter whether you've got 1 subscriber, 20 million subscribers. If people enjoy what you do, that's what it's about. Where he uses it, what I call clicks for dicks, you know, all the people who are just throwing money at him and stuff like that. And he's not a United fan, mate. He's trouble. He is United's Arsenal Fan TV and Liverpool's Anfield agenda.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, obviously, it's all about being true to yourself, like you said. And you know, I'm really grateful for everyone. Like, doesn't matter if I've got 1 person watching or 100 people watching my videos. I'm grateful for every single person who actually tunes in and watches my content, because for me, this is just a passion. I'm just a United fan, and it doesn't matter how many subscribers I've got. I've got an opinion, and anyone else has got an opinion, right? I have fans on the channel all the time who say the Ten Hag out, and I'll debate them and say why I'm Ten Hagging and stuff. That's the beauty of football, and the media is what's become so toxic with it, because certain people do make it toxic, but certain people like me and you want the reality and want to bring realness to content. And that's where you get the best reactions. That's where you get the most passionate fans, because they know that when you're in a conversation, it's just a flowing conversation like what we're having. It doesn't matter what team you support as well. This is what I love about doing content as well. I've met so many fans that I didn't even know existed when it comes to City fans, Liverpool fans, Spurs fans. I absolutely love interacting with other fans that aren't even United fans. And to be honest, Goldbridge, the way he runs his channel, he's made a massive success out of it. And I do it.
He's a very clever man, mate. To do what he's doing is by manipulating people. And listen, I'm the same as you. Even if on our panel, if everybody agrees, or I agree with everybody on the panel, I'll do a devil's advocate. I'll spin it round rather than aren't we all jolly, just to see what the engagement you get with the guys in the chat and stuff, because the people in the chat are so important. I absolutely love interacting with the guys in the chat, because we have a laugh, you know. And if you've ever seen any of our shows, then it's just bonkers. That's why I call it a pub cast because I want it to be like it's in a pub with your mates and having a laugh and stuff. Not all the serious. Listen, if it's a serious thing, we'll do serious, but we'll put a bit of fun in it as well because that's what City fans are renowned for, and that's the way you, in my opinion, a channel should be, and that's why you've got a great channel, and it's growing really, really well. But you'll have the right quality of people, mate, rather than just people all over the world going. You know, that's part of the problem. Some of our fan base. That's part of our problem. But that's what success brings. Like you guys know from when you used to be good.
Yep. But like you said, the cycle will repeat itself once again. And just right now, we're at the bottom. But no doubt, we'll be back up top one day. And hopefully, it isn't in the next 100 years or so. Because I at least want to see United win a Premier League before I die. That's the way I've become now. I want to see us win a Premier League before I die. But
who knows, mate? You always get underdogs. Even Leicester won it.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to see, mate. Honestly, but no,
how can you see tomorrow going?
This is what I'm about to ask. Then I personally, you know what? I'm going to say it with chest. I'm going to say it because I'm wearing my shirt with pride, and I'm going to say that City are going to go 2-0 up, and United will come back 2-2, and just like Liverpool, we'll beat you in extra time, and we'll make it 3-2. That is honestly what I'm going to say. You remember Paul Pogba at the Etihad a few seasons ago when we were down and out of the game? You know, Paul Pogba with the brace, Chris Smalling gets the winner. At the end of the day, you don't remember that. Well, that's fine. I can get it up on my phone in a second to refresh your memory.
No. Well, I'm gonna go with you. You're going to what you've got on your chest. I think this is where the game will be won. If we can boss it in midfield, City all the way, mate.
We'll have to see. But score prediction, I'm saying 3-2. Obviously, I know you don't really do predictions and stuff, but you know I always bullshit. You know what I do? Go on then. Give it me.
What I always do, and some of my mates can't understand it, that I always put bets on against City.
All right. Okay. Bet you've lost a lot of money then. I bet you've lost a
lot. Trust me, I have. It's all like a reverse psychology. So the bets I'll have tomorrow will all be United wins.
Okay.
Because I'm shocking at betting, mate. So that's So I'm going to go for 3-1 United. McTominay first goal. See, I said his name.
You know what? I'll even put a bet on that. I'll even have a bet on that because I don't give a shit who scores. It could be Onana who fucking scores the winner. It could be Mason Mount and redeems himself. It could be even Anthony, but I'll rub salt in the wounds if it was Anthony who scored the winner.
Who's been your player of the season?
Diogo Dalot.
That's who I was hoping you say. I think he's had a good season, mate. He's carriages at times.
Yeah, mate. Honestly,
Hojlund's got something about him as well.
He has,
He had with the right service. He could be a massive plus for you.
I agree.
Just tomorrow, going forward.
Yeah, no, because 16 goals in all competitions this season for a 20 to 21-year-old is a very good season in my opinion. And to come into Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and to do that has been brilliant, I think. And the thing is that he scored, what is it? I think he scored like 10 or 11 goals or something in the Premier League this season. And he's had like 39 shots at goal. And he scored that many goals. Like
imagine how many he'd score if he was at a proper club.
No, exactly. Like if you're at a proper team that could actually create, for fuck's sake, I just realised what you did to me. But at the end of the day, like I actually want to talk to you about Michael Olise. Now at City are being talked about, they're in for him. But with the likes of you having Doku, Grealish, this Savio that's also going to be coming into the team and stuff, whether his future's decided or not, would you take Michael Olise? Because for me, he is one of the best.
Again?
Yeah.
He was in our academy.
I know he was.
I think he's a fantastic player, mate. As is Eze. I think they are very, very good players. But you've not factored in that I'm certain Bernardo will be going in the summer. So there'll be a vacancy over on the right. I know he's been linked to us. Would he want to? And this is part of the problem. Would he want to come to us and be maybe a bit part player? Because Pep likes to rotate, or would he go to say a United where he's pretty much guaranteed? No disrespect, disrespect. Yeah. Where he'd play ahead of the fidget spinner.
Mate, honestly, I can't wait to see the back of Anthony. I've got a good mate of mine called Benjamin. He comes on the show sometimes, and he absolutely loves Anthony. And I'm there like, I've recently got my new pair of glasses from Specsavers, and I still can't see what he fucking sees in him, because Anthony is probably the worst transfer in Premier League history. Not just in our club, in Premier League history. There is not one team in the Premier League that will take Anthony at their club. Like, not even new promoted teams.
But you can look at it two ways for Ten Hag there. Now, Ten Hag knows him from Ajax. Yeah. So Ten Hag's paid a lot of money for him. And in my opinion, he's let Ten Hag down massively. So that's not helped Ten Hag in his job situation either.
Yeah, I agree, and obviously that's also another reason why so many fans of Ten Hag out, because of his signings. We've brought in Casemiro for like 70 million. You've brought in the likes of Antony for so much money. Onana, for me, Onana's been quite decent, to be honest. He's had a few stinkers, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day,
look how David De Gea started off for you. He started off shocking, and look what he went. Obviously, he was a bit dodgy towards the end of his United career, but for me, he had a fantastic United career. So, and it's difficult for a keeper, Dan, when you're being peppered all the time. Some people might say, "Yeah, but that'll make you a good keeper." No, you need an understanding with your defense, and he's at the butt of a lot of jokes on Onana, but that's because United are. Now, if you had a settled back four, which you've not had all season, because Martinez and Varane and all that has been out. If you'd have had a settled back four, you would have thought that it wouldn't have been peppered as much. So it'd have had a better understanding. So that there'd have been a steady calmness about you. But because of the injuries you've had, it's difficult for a goalkeeper, because, pardon the pun, they're there to be shot at. There's no hiding place for a goalkeeper. If a defender has a bad tackle or something like that, or a midfielder, it's forgotten in a few seconds. Whereas if you make a mistake as a keeper, it's talked about for all season and beyond.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, like I said, I think Onana's quite a good keeper. I mean, he was in the Champions League final last season against you guys. He doesn't go shit overnight, and especially with it like being in the Serie A with such a solid defense with Inter Milan. He got the Golden Glove that season. So this season, obviously, he was even contention halfway through the season. We had, I think we had 8 clean sheets, and Arsenal had 9 at one point, and we were talking about he actually might get the Golden Glove, which sounds ridiculous, but then obviously we haven't got the clean sheet. But at the end of the day, I think it's exciting to see what tomorrow's going to bring. Again, like you've said throughout the video, on paper you should smash us, but it's a derby, it's a one-off game. Supposedly it's Erik Ten Hag's last game, so hopefully that we just have a great game of football and the best team wins, and that's it. And it's going to be United, so
hopefully we will.
Yeah, hopefully United win. So let's see. But honestly, thank you for joining me. It's gone a bit longer than I expected, but I've had a very good chat with you, Andy. Your link's in the description below, and if anyone wants to go and check out Andy, it's the MCFC podcast. The link is in the description below, so go and check them out. Hit a subscription. Check out Andy's side business with his mugs and everything. And
these comments here.
Which ones?
A proper club city are only famous in Stockport.
That's Kieran.
We're all them flags. City flags a gift. All good banter. That's what we like. Listen, all banter is good. Nastiness isn't. Listen, because at the end of the day, there's more important things than football.
That's true, mate. But honestly, for the fans who are neutral, go and check out Andy. He's a good friend of mine. And
What Angel or Angel? I won't be checking that out. Excuse me. I have. It's not just City stuff. I have stuff for everything. I've even got. Oh, where? I've even got one of the Garnacho overhead kick and stuff like that. I've got sections for all football stuff and everything. I'm not promoting my stuff, but how dare you? Simon will know that because he wants 115. I take it you just come on. Listen, Angel, I'm a City fan, but look, we have a laugh. You're saying 115, are you? Look.
That's a great mug. That's a great mug.
Yeah, ready to go in a bit. Listen, seriously though, banter is very, very good. Whatever the result is tomorrow, it is just, if you go to Wembley, stay safe, stay humble, have banter, have a great day, win or lose. That's all I can say.
Great message. Thank you, Andy, for joining me. Thank you for everyone for your comments. There's been quite a few people in the chat tonight. Angel or Angel, thank you for joining me. Obviously, Kieran as well. Simon as well. Thank you for everyone for their comments this evening. Jobs for Football as well. So everyone who's tuned in, whether you've watched or made a comment, even if you've watched for 1 second or you've stayed tuned for the entire thing,
get them likes up. Get the likes up for Dan, because things like likes, comments, and stuff like that, it's all good for the algorithms, and it helps point United, decent United fans Dan's way, because the algorithms will pick that up, and then that's when you get a very, very good balanced channel. I'm not full of lunatics.
Andy's a lot more experienced in this than I am, so obviously I'm still learning. Obviously, we're only the second year into this channel, and hopefully we've got many more years ahead of us. And yeah, obviously it says we've got 36 people watching, so obviously a lot of you can leave a like on this, and I really appreciate
it.
Subscribe as well. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so yeah. But anyway, thank you for watching, Andy. You've been amazing as always, and we'll see